Hey, this is Privateer Station, and we're doing another recording. It's late at night here, Eastern, in the US, but the events of this day, I think at this point, are somewhat defined. So we can go in brief over all of what was going on. I would say today's events were even more confusing than the day before, but definitely entertaining. Um, So to start with, I want to thank you, our supporters. Thank you for sharing links and clicking the like button. And if you haven't done that, please do so. Thank you for sending the super thanks. That is all really appreciated from New Zealand and from United States, I see, from Canada. Thank you, guys. That is all awesome. Now, to the news of the day. First of all, in the commentary, I saw that one of you did mention that there was an initial statement by Prigozhin after which it would be very difficult for him to return back to normalcy. Yeah, it was W. Bin. Thank you for bringing this up. So we'll start with that exact video. That is what Prigozhin started his March for Justice with. The Council of Commanders of Private Mercenary Corps Wagner made a decision that evil that is being brought by military leadership of Russia needs to be stopped. They do not care about the lives of soldiers. They forgot the word justice, and we will bring it back. So those who today destroyed our guys in Ukraine, those who killed dozens of thousands of lives of Russian soldiers will be punished. I ask to please not resist. Those who will try to resist us will treat as threat, and we will be destroying on point, including any blog posts on our way, any aviation that we see above our heads. I ask everybody to remain calm, to not fall into provocations, stay in your homes. Please do not go outside en route of our passing. After, when we complete what we started, we will return back to the front to defend our homeland. President's power, government, Minister of Internal Affairs, Russian Guard, and other structures will be working in a usual rhythm. We will only take care of those who are guilty in destroying Russian soldiers, and will return back to the front. The justice in the military will be restored, and after that, the justice for the whole Russia. And here, these are the morning shots from Rostov, where you can see a tank parked in one of the entrances to the circus in the city. The girl is shooting, and they're telling her not to shoot their faces. Another message from Prigozhin. We are in a headquarters. It's 7:30 in the morning. We're controlling all military objects in Rostov, including military airport. The planes leaving for military work are leaving according to the schedule. Medical flights are leaving according to the schedules. All we did, we took the control of it so that the aviation would not be attacking us, but would be attacking our enemies in Ukraine. Main headquarters are working in the normal flow. No officers are being disrupted. No work is being disrupted. So if you hear that Private Mercenary Corps Wagner broke something and the front collapsed because of them, that is not because of us. So once again, we are here to reinstate the fact that Minister of Defense is lying, that we lost a lot of territories, that Russia has lost 3-4 times more than the documents being supplied to Putin, and what you hear on TV is 10 times less the actual losses. Sometimes our losses reach 1,000 a day, total sanitary losses, and that includes wounded, killed, the ones who had to leave the front because they had no ammo, no command. The head of their command left, just like the head of the Russian General Command left Rostov when he heard that we are approaching the building. In the meantime, on the streets of Rostov, interesting videos. Some retirees, like this one on the bicycle, pushing on Wagner troops, trying to shame them that they're sowing crisis on the streets, and they're politely pushing back, telling him to not escalate. He is requesting to speak to a supervisor. Here's the commander coming out, telling him that he has his face open, asking for his documents to see whom he is talking to. And the old dude is expressing that he went through 3 wars and he will not tolerate any disturbance in his city, and asking them rather roughly what are they doing. A little later today, about 9-10 in the morning, Putin came out on TV with his 5-minute speech. It's still a small one. He tried to appeal to his military, to his presidential power structures, FSB, and people of Russia, trying to accuse Prigozhin and his troops, and trying also to push buttons to return them back to the front, hoping that they're doing that because they were deceived and they're causing this mutiny in the wrong moment. And then he was doing his usual bullshit appeals to save his sorry ass from being dethroned. He was trying to project some sort of seriousness, but in effect one could tell that he is just afraid. So that was about 5 minutes. You can find it online. I'm not going to translate that asshole any further. And after that message, Wagner account posted that Pipa made a bad choice and Russia will have a new president. Then there were memes with tanks on the verge of the cliff screaming forward to the victory. And more memes comparing McDonald's opening in 1990s with these days fast food in Moscow, where you can see guys with rifles in full military gear. Just checking, do you guys like that stability that Putin brought to your country more than what you had before? Now, according to the white stripes on the arms, these are probably from Rostov. These are probably Wagner troops. Also, there are videos from different towns in Russia where the advertising billboards for Wagner were being cleaned up and the ads were being removed. After Putin's speech, there were more statements made that Wagner is going to be prosecuted and leadership will be properly punished. Then more videos from outskirts of Moscow, preparing for possible military engagement. You can see police there, riot police on the riot machines. Then Mikhail Podolyak, advisor to the president of Ukraine, came out talking about Prigozhin and his role in this conflict. That Prigozhin was actually one of the most aggressive commanders of the most aggressive troops that they had on the front. And Mikhailo was wondering if Putin has any resources that can stop Wagner on their march to Putin, because normally he would need 100,000 or so to stop this kind of uprising. And also the moods in the Russian military, according to Mikhailo, are very different, and they're not necessarily looking to go die for Putin. Then there was another appeal from Denis Whiterex-Nikitin by Russian volunteer corps fighting on the side of Ukraine in this war. And he's saying that there is only one way to get Russia rid of Putin is by means of military force. and he's appealing to different supporters of Russian volunteer corps, and he's appealing to people in Russia to continue resisting, to burn the vehicles of Minister of Internal Affairs, riot police, and try to make it difficult for Putin's power to project itself throughout Russia. They already are getting news from the front that some detachments of Russian military are just leaving positions in that situation of mutiny and turmoil. Some positions around Bakhmut were captured without fight. There was more advancement in Zaporozhye. He's stating that his troops are ready to cross the border again. They've been there before and they know how to get there again. And they're getting more notes. Please visit Belgorod, please visit Bryansk. So Russians are eager to see them. Then Strelkov, one of the TV personalities in Russia, published that musicians, and the second name for Wagner Group, entered Voronezh, and they posted more pictures of Voronezh military surrendering to Wagner. More videos from Voronezh. This is crazy. This helicopter is flying very low. There was just an explosion. More videos of attack helis flying over, and a warning to be careful shooting the videos because you may be in the front, in the middle of, find yourself in the middle of battle. Then the video of one of the semi-trucks getting destroyed on the highway. According to some commentary, that was not Wagner truck, that was a random civilian truck. More videos of random parking lots in Voronezh getting blown up, getting attacked, and people from the office building noticing that there is an anti-aircraft gun shooting from one of the armored vehicles at the helicopter. Sounds like it's hit. Yep, from there the missile went. Well, fuck. More sounds of explosions, and let's run to the basement. Dude, yeah, let's run. Don't stay here. I think they just shot the heli. Then it was corroborated soon with another video of the remnants of the helicopter burning in the field. Later in that day, it was acknowledged that Wagner blew out of the sky one Ka-52, 4 Mi-8 helicopters, one Mi-35, and one Il-18. More videos as Wagner are going on the highway towards Moscow, showing that they just pushed all the barricades aside and the column went further. Meanwhile, in occupied by Wagner territories, there was a little bit of panic. People were buying food in stores, big lines for gas as well. And more videos of, this time it's in the outskirts of Moscow region near the bridge across Akha River. Troops of Ministry of Defense are getting out of their vehicles and taking positions. It was also reported that Wagner is getting ready to take some villages the outskirts of Voronezh and take their military airport as well. And you can see some anti-air trucks, some pretty expensive equipment up them. Then there was interesting posts about the locations of shelters in Moscow, and more FSB posts about finding 4 billion rubles at the Wagner headquarters. One of the more pictures of Putin and his jets and his cronies leaving Moscow. One of them flew to Azerbaijan, another flew to Turkey. Supposedly Putin's flight took off on Saturday for St. Petersburg. and some notes from store that they have rationing for some of the food items. And meanwhile, in Rostov, some people are taking pictures in front of the military equipment. Others are trying to leave the city in the train stations. Also, more surreal from that city, this guy came out of nowhere with his accordion and was singing songs. And then later there were notes about Kadyrov Ahmad regiment moving to supposedly intercept and engage Wagner. You can hear people in the background screaming Ahmad power. Then Lyudmila Tikhanovskaya, the elected president of Belarus, who had to leave the country when it was taken over and Lukashenko refused to give up his power. She posted an appeal to people of Ukraine, stating that FSB in Russia already started criminal prosecutions against Prigozhin, and in the news they see that Wagner troops already took Voronezh and Rostov. Russian dictatorship started war against Ukraine and ended up bringing it on their own territory. And this is the destiny of everybody who wants to start or to support an aggressive war. War tends to devour everything around itself. Lukashenko and Putin will try to involve Belarus also into this war, and they're covering their butts under the pretense of union between Belarus and Russia. But this is only leading to crisis. Putin will try to pull Belarus military into his own internal military conflict, so it would become our conflict as well. And I want to appeal to Belarus diplomats, military, and power agencies to remember that we have our own national interests. Neither Putin nor Prigozhin are singers for Belarus, and you do not have to take their side. Belarus people need to defend their own country. This situation, how it unfolds and affects Belarus, depends only upon us. And we need to protect our sovereignty and our security. And we need to make sure that we protect our country from what happens in Russia. We need to be ready for any scenario. And I need to appeal to Belarus army. We cannot just hope that Russia will leave Belarus peacefully. And today we do have a chance to try to push against Russian military and push them out of our country. If we miss that chance, they will likely do the same thing with us as with Ukraine. Russia could not pull Belarus into the direct military conflict in Ukraine, and we should not let Belarus to be involved in any military action inside Russia. And also, we need to preclude any Russian military action in our home in Belarus. Belarus needs to close border with Russia and needs to initiate the withdrawal of Russian troops from Belarus territory. Today I created operative headquarters. Valery Sakhashchik is the leader of that headquarters, and we're turning to representatives of forces of democratic structures, Kalinovsky Regiment, and other Belarus volunteers and supporters. We will be looking for international support of our actions. Our belief in Belarus is strong, and we believe that Belarus will choose Belarus. And then later there were videos of that Il-18 burning and falling out of the sky, that electronic warfare jet from Russian military. According to reports later, there were up to 8 people on board. They all perished. Supposedly that was shot down by Wagner troops when they saw that posing some risk to their movement. And we're seeing pieces of that jet as it deteriorates, falling down out of the sky. You can hear in the background that people are talking about the jet that fell not too far away from their home. And another video not too far from Stupino, slightly away from Domodedovo airport. More of the Russian government military with a ton of machines and people are being moved. Something scary. In the meantime, Ukraine was trolling that situation with videos of one of their soldiers eating popcorn, listening to news and messages from Prigozhin and his original statements about what Ukraine was talking all along from the beginning, that the losses of Russian Federation in this war is 10 times bigger than what is reported. Yeah, and more statements from Prigozhin that they want to get Shoigu and Gerasimov. More videos as Prigozhin troops were moving closer to Moscow. This one is from Lipetsk region, pretty close to Moscow region. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of Moscow, there were soldiers taking positions around the roads. More memes laughing that 2021 Russia is the second army in the world, 2022 Russian is the second army in Ukraine, 2023 Russian army is the second army in Russia. And more surreal pictures of military resting in the meat story steak restaurant. Akhmat, still according to the videos, a many mile long column, but not really moving, kind of moving towards Rostov, but very slowly and still on the route. Meanwhile, in Moscow, people noticed machine gun outposts being equipped with sandbags, and later Mayor of Moscow Sergei Sobyanin came out with a statement announcing the anti-terrorist operation in Moscow, difficult situation, requesting people to not leave their homes, and they're trying to provide for the continuous work of city services. More videos from Rostov in the middle of the day today, where Wagner troops were requesting civilians to leave the downtown. They were urging them to move at least 2 miles away from the headquarters, from the command. At the same time, on the suburban train stations, station is full of people looking to leave the city. One of the bridges that could be disconnected was disconnected in the Moscow region, trying to prevent Wagner troops from, it's across Mityaev Bridge, was trying to prevent Wagner troops from crossing it. You could see on the maps that two main roads, M2 and M4, leading from south to Moscow, were all closed in the south. And one of the TV anchors confused, saying it's a short advertising break, and after that will be more advertising break. Meanwhile, some people are taking pictures with Wagner troops and actually supporting them. More videos of people trying to help them, to provide aid, bringing food, bringing water, and then answering questions. Why are we giving water? Because we care about them. Their faces are tired. They probably want to drink, and I'm not the only one who brings that to them. There are a lot of people I see around who bring them snacks and fruit, and in the stores nearby, everything is bought, purchased. Some of them refuse, but others do take. We're just kind and give it to them. In the meantime, Wagner troops continue to creep up towards Moscow, take more territory, take more towns along the way. There are different photos and videos along the highways. Yeah, semi-trucks, guys with machine guns, all different parts. Now this video is from Ramenskaya. These are more troops in Moscow. Supposedly that's Ministry of Defense. They have red chevrons, and these are the remnants of that K-52 helicopter that was engaging Wagner troops earlier in Voronezh. So that one burnt down, and all the crew on board perished. There's the broken off tail and burning ashes of the military machine. Commentary behind the video. There are plenty of guys with machine guns in the truck beds, and we've been filming this column for at least half an hour non-stop, moving towards Moscow. This is actually coming from the southern part of Moscow region, so in a span of a day, Wagner troops reached southern outskirts of Moscow Oblast. More soldiers and buses. Another machine gunner in the truck bed. More military equipment. They're probably driving for at least 40 minutes on this road now. Another machine gunner in the vehicle. And some maps of the reporting progress of Wagner troops towards Moscow. Meanwhile, from Dagestan, there were interesting videos where people are putting graffitis on the wall, Dagestan without Russia. Dagestan is not Russia. Thieves in Russia, thieves in law, actually published a letter appealing their supporters to disobey Russian criminal system, and more detailed map of Wagner troop progressing to Moscow. You can see that they're not using one road or two roads, they're actually creatively using the whole network of them to try to get closer to the capital. And Kadyrov troops, in the meantime, are still marching towards Rostov. It's been the bigger half of a day, and while Wagner troops are already entering Moscow region, Kadyrov are still somewhere a couple dozen miles outside of Rostov. Armored PC carriers are driving by. And here's a video from Moscow, near Lipetsy, Moscow region. So they're trying to block the bridge with trucks. What the police is doing, they're taking keys from drivers and leaving. And that's the guy, actually, he's one of the police. He's just describing what they're doing. Basically, they're commandeering trucks from any commercial drivers. And he's saying that they don't touch civilians, but they'll probably be killing any force ministry people on the road. So now they're just expropriating trucks. Later we get a message from Wagner that Private Mercenary Corps Wagner was planned to be disbanded by Russian military command. We started our march of justice yesterday. In one day we almost reached Moscow. We're within 200 kilometers, about 160 miles. In these days we have not spilled any blood of our fighters, And now we're at a moment when this blood can be shed. So, understanding all responsibility for spilling Russian blood by one of the sides, we are turning our columns and we are leaving in the opposite direction, back to the field camps, according to the plan. Supposedly there was a plan discussed between Lukashenko, Wagner, and Putin. Peskov, spokesperson for Putin, came out and said that you heard the statement from Wagner, and you did hear that Lukashenko and Putin had a conversation. There were other sessions of communication between two presidents. One of them happened just an hour ago. Two presidents indeed came to an agreement that President Lukashenko will provide intermediary services to regulate the situation. And we highly value his effort. You might ask me, why is it Lukashenko doing it? The thing is that Alexander Grigorievich knows Prigozhin personally for a long time, for at least 20 years, and it was his personal initiative and his personal offer that he arranged with President Putin. We are thankful to the President of Belarus for these efforts to resolve the situation without further losses, without further escalations, without increasing the level of tensions. As a result, we achieved an agreement that Wagner will return to their camps on the front. Part of them who want to can sign contract with Minister of Defense. That is only pertaining to the part that did not take part in this march. There were those who didn't go. There were detachments that did not join Prigozhin from the beginning, or the ones who started but then returned and asked for support by our road police to return them back. And at the evening of the day, Wagner troops were seen leaving Rostov. People were cheering. Prigozhin himself was in one of these black vehicles, and people were taking autographs and shaking hands. Meanwhile, reaction to Prigozhin's statement was funny on Telegram. 75,000 clown faces. More videos came out from Rostov. People cheering Wagner, carrying out their banners. And only later, when Wagner withdrew, the first vehicle of military police actually arrived on scene and started to reclaim control of the command headquarters. Then in Lipetsk region, we saw videos of heavy machinery filling the trenches again with the ones they dug across the highways and the roads. Lukashenko supposedly played a big role in today's decision, and it's still unclear as to what was the full set of conditions. That tank that was stuck was parked in the driveway near the circus had left that position and also joined moving Wagner troops. Here you can see two of their soldiers. Reportedly, Kadyrov soldiers also retreated back, and there were more funny memes about, well, you were talking so much about that with the Wagner insignia on the nether regions of the famous painting. And that's about it for the day. That was a crazy one. thank you for sticking with us. This was Privateer Station, and tomorrow we'll have Alexei Arestovich and Mark Fagin out talking and discussing these events. Thank you, guys. Talk later.